first time when 40 years ago when I started to record, the sound was not as deep as it is now, first, not digital. And I was thinking also that I was not really singing maybe the way I want to sing now. So through the years, excuse me, through the years I start to think that I could do better. And one day, you know, the Pro Tools came back to the world, came to the world. And I realized I could do it better. That's the main reason, to put the brains and the heart better, in better union. That's why I started this project. No, the other recordings, everything is very narrow. The voice is still too much, like, and through the years, I think, this is not being modest, but I think that I learned more. So I thought that it could be another way to express myself in the old songs. That's the main reason. You know, I was born not to be a singer. I was born to be a young guy, sport guy in the university, but I never thought in my life I would be a singer. So when it came that situation, for the circumstance, when I started to have a guitar and play, I knew that I was not a singer. And the people, you know, through the years, they give me so much time, fortunately. Then I really started to think that I could really learn to be really a professional. And today, finally, through the opportunities that the time gave me, I think that I'm a professional. So I put together everything that I wasn't a little like, not together. You know, when I came to America, to the United States, in 1980, I started to do my first English album. I had to really put the vocals together with the black music, beautiful, with the country music, with the pop music. And I was an artist just with the guitar, you know, playing. So I started to beat the voice a little more in the rhythm. So I think that time was the change, the big change in the way to express myself through the English musical situation that I had in the 80s, you know, when I did my 1100 places. And that album really put me another level of rhythm, I will say, no? Much more electric situations, I guess. Well, that was, but it's difficult to explain how I choose the songs, in a way. In reality, I wanted to do everything, from 70 to 83, 85, or even 90. I wanted to review everything. So I start, you know, to try to play with in the house. You know, today the studios are in the houses and it's so easy to play the bass, to play, you know, the guitars, to put better sounding and everything. And I put the vocals, and the vocals took me maybe 10 minutes because the microphone was there. I went to I'm singing these songs for the last 40 years all over the world, you know, so it was not very difficult. But in a way, what I did is to have the other vocals, the old vocals, in a side. So I don't want to confuse myself, you know, to think that, and I didn't imitate myself, but I was thinking the story is when I started to sing the old songs, I was much more involved in the song than 40, 30 years ago. Why? Because the meaning of the songs represents little stories that I brought with the spirit to sing them, then it will be with my guitar all my life. So when I came back to the studio and I started to record that old songs, I was excited, much more excited than when I did the first time. Well, you know I think the main thing I did is it doesn't change too much. The value of the arrangements. What I changed really the value of the sounds. So I didn't get confused to put a new introduction in the music or to put something unusual. I try to keep really the main arrangement, but with another bass, another bass of rhythm, another bass of sound. So it was something that I thought that in the beginning I did it for myself. I was not thinking to put in the market ever in my life because people thought maybe that I was crazy, thinking that I was selling already records and I want to repeat something that already people bought. So I think even the musicians that collaborate with me, they thought that I was crazy. Not now, but in the beginning they thought that I was crazy. Then it was not routine in this album. Not routine because, routine comes when you specifically go to make an album. It was not in a specific situation to do an album. It was in a specific thing in a way that I wanted to record again the sounds. That's exactly the idea. So I didn't say, oh, this month I'm going to work from 6 to 10, whatever. No, I was coming to the studio and the engineer was always there, a friend of mine. And I started to call some musicians, beautiful musicians, and they start to play, and it was a little fun. It was not something like, oh, let's do this, or no. And little by little, it started to become really a project. One day, the president of the Latino company, Afo, they came to the studio, and he asked me what I was doing, because he didn't know what I was doing. And I said, well, I had the idea to do again these songs, and he said, oh, can I listen? And he said, but which is the reason? What you want, what you expect to do? And I said, no, it's just to keep it for me, to keep it, thinking that maybe in the future, when the young kids goes to see or to listen to something, they don't find a sound and it's not correct. The story started like this, and it became a big project. A big project. It goes something like to China now. And the result is that I think that if the privilege I have to be able to record again this end of the 60s and the 70s, including sometimes something in the 80s and maybe in the 90s, if artists like, I would say a name, for example, Elvis Presley, will have the opportunity to do Can't Help Falling in Love again, or Love Me Tender, that incredible sounds, with a great sound. He will do it. He will do it. And people will say, but which is the difference between a painting than a painter wants to paint again? The philosophy of a painter is a mix of colors. The philosophy of a singer is not the project of his voice. It's the sound of everything around. It's something that comes contemporary more and more in the days. Before we used to record in 4 tracks, 8 tracks, 24, 48, now recording 2,000 tracks. But not only that, the sound is much better. So I believe that many artists with the opportunity that I had, they will do maybe many things like this. And a special artist like me, that I had to say, I'm not really a good singer. tour year. It's a tour year because I've been in the studio, I've been touring all my life, but this year is a tour year. We start in Argentina, we came back to Argentina, we do Chile, we do all Latin America, we do Colombia, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Peru, Ecuador. And after we do all we start in Bulgaria, we do all the East countries, we do Spain, the stadiums, 4 or 5 big concerts. After we go to Brazil, and from Brazil we go to China, to Japan, to Australia, to New Zealand, and maybe we do Singapore, maybe we do also Bangkok, 3 concerts in that country because they are going to do this all over the world. I would love to go to that country, I don't know, for the last 5 or 6 years. I would love to go to Philippines back. I was in Japan in December, but I come back this year to Japan and to China. I don't do that in China for the last 6 years. So, also, I don't want to sing only in Shanghai and Beijing. I want to see also in the programs. So it's good. It's good. It's good. But, you know, it does will make me look at the mirror sometimes and say, okay, do exercises, get excited. It's so beautiful to go on the stage. I don't understand anything related with the fight related with wars. I don't understand that because I've been singing in all that countries. I've been singing again and next year. Yugoslavia starts to fight, you know, the publics. I've been singing in another country next year. I don't believe very much in that politics, that things that the power has to be used in that negative words in a way. I really believe in that. I think that it's dishonest. I think it's extremist. I think it's radical. And in this century, which the television shows all these situations so alive, sound in my voice gets to my brains, passing through all my body, and when it goes to the people, gets in a way that people understand. I don't know if I heal people, I don't know, because there's people who like me, people who doesn't like me at all, naturally. But I try to project something that makes people passionate. I love when the people hold each other. I love when the people say to me, I like that song. I love when people say yes. Because an artist cannot tell, oh, I don't need people to say yes, I believe in I do it correct. No, no. We need people. And the only song that I did in my life without thinking about people was the first song. After my first song became success, everything I did yesterday, it was always thinking about people. Of course, with the feeling and taking from inside of me something I had to say, but always thinking that people would love it. No, it doesn't matter. That's why I do women interviews, that's why we... And maybe there is artists who doesn't do interviews because they think that doesn't make interviews, they get much more interviews. There is always something that's related in artists with the people, and the power of the people. I'm thinking if I can do it. You know, it's not the project that I'm thinking what time it will take in the project. I will not put something in my brains, in my heart, if I don't know that I can finish. They have a great proposition to make an album with all these young generations of people that I don't know the names, I don't know nothing. Which is a project that excites me in a way that I don't know them. I don't even hear the music. So the people of me, they watch the program, the mothers, they watch it. Don't sing with Julio because he doesn't have any idea who you are. But anyway, to doesn't know who that people are, is exciting. Because I believe that they have a lot of followers of this young generation of artists. Maybe it's great